WKNJ 90.3 FM. We got a producer all the way from Atlanta in the building. By the way, we just got some fire joints up in here. We have a gentleman named Mr. Enok. What's going on, man? How you? I know you were in the I Standard beat battle yesterday. I got to see you, and you won the beat battle down in Atlanta. And now you're up here in New York. You were in the competition, and I must say you did your thing. But the judges, to me, they were too harsh. Acting very ignorant. Like, you know, it's this, it's that. I felt like going up telling them to shut the f up, but you know, I wouldn't do. But shout out to Illmind.
Constructive criticism is good. You know, it's all good.
You know what I mean? But yeah, but more importantly though, I know you've done you're both a producer and a DJ.
Yeah.
And I know you've done some production. You did stuff with with Boogie out of Detroit.
Yeah. Book Brown, Elder Sensei.
You in Puerto Rock.
A lot of local MCs in Atlanta. That's mainly what I've been working with. I don't have any major placements necessarily right now.
And you worked with Senior Chaos as well. That's the homies.
Yeah.
Shout out to Senior Chaos out there, High Water Music. But now, being from Atlanta, and I've heard some of your production doesn't sound like typical Atlanta sound. And why did you choose to differentiate yourself from that?
Basically because I grew up on the traditional hip hop, so you know, like, which would be quote unquote New York shit.
Right.
You know, as Bussa would say.
Boss.
Yeah. You know, I mean, like, I grew up on that, like.
On the corner called up north East Coast.
Like that's what I really fell in love with. But at the same time, like, I love Dirty South stuff too.
But at the same time, and I noticed that about you from having a conversation with you. We talked about everything from hip hop to sports to fun, and I noticed you have a lot of love for the hip hop culture, and you make it very apparent on the mixtapes that you gave me. And why do you think it's so vital for producers to actually love what they do?
I mean, if you don't love what you do, then why are you doing it?
Mm.
Basically, like, why are you doing it?
Mm.
I don't even know if that deserves an answer, you know what I mean? Like,
Do you have any producers or MCs out there that you want to work with?
What's that?
Do you have any producers or MCs when I say producers to work with, maybe you could collab with another producer, or any MCs that you want to work with that you can think to mind?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot of producers I look up to and admire that I would love to work with and absorb jewels from them. I mean, Justice League being one of them, it was really dope to be able to build with them. Illmind, I love him. He's like one of my favorite new producers. Mm-hmm. You know, I would say new. Mm-hmm. In terms of like the newer school right now. Mm-hmm. But as far as the artists, Kendrick Lamar, that'd be dope to do that. Like his whole, like, that whole movement, the black hippie movement. If I could get in with that, that'd be crazy.
And being that, since you're a producer and DJ, did you ever used to do beat battles? I mean, before I Standard, you were heavy into the beat battle before I Standard.
I wasn't heavy into it, but I was doing it because I'm just trying to get my name out, you know. Mm-hmm. So, like, however I can get my name out. If it's a battle, then I'm down.
And like I must say, and since you with sampling, I know you were saying like when you try to find those. You're a real crate digger from what you were telling me, and you really try to find those samples to try to differentiate from others. So when you go for sampling, you don't just do jazz and rock. You do it from everything, from reggae to classical.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I consider it a personal challenge if I can take like for instance, a Sesame Street record and make it into some hot-ish, you know, like, and especially overseas records. Like, I've been doing a lot of e-digging lately. I'm definitely a record head, but I've been doing a lot of e-digging, especially when it comes to, you know, just to get those overseas records.
You're cheating.
That you can't get here in the States.
And that's smart, though. I honestly think that's smart. You have to go.
I do it. I have no shame in admitting that. And it's all good.
Nothing wrong with it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing
whatever.
Wrong with that.
If you hate on me because of that, that's cool. Whatever.
I don't hate. I mean,
No.
I don't hate. I appreciate.
To me, like, I'll sample whatever, man. Like, I play instruments and all that. Like,
and as a producer, as an up and coming producer, what have you learned as a producer from other producers, and what have you learned from MCs?
What I've learned from MCs is you definitely got to take the ego into context. With a lot of cats I know back home, you know, it's definitely like a lot of cats don't realize it's a group process, you know. Like I think it's all about them as the MC. It's like, nah, I'm a vital part of this as well.
Can I chime in real quick?
I'm providing the soundtrack, you know. So
Porter Rock wanted to chime in on that real quick. What did you want to say?
No, I just wanted to say, it just made sense from what y'all was saying, right? Like when we met each other, and he made a beat from scratch for Elder Sensei. The reason the record came out the way it came out was because of how we was vibing and the ish in the room, like, you know, like the vibes and the things, how things was,
right,
made everything a record how it's supposed to sound.
Okay.
Like what you was saying, like, you feel me?
yeah.
Okay, let me shut up.
Nah, I like to do that. Like that's what I prefer to do is like if I can actually build with an artist in the lab, and create it together from the ground up. Like if we're sampling something, like going through samples, like does this sample speak to you? You know, I might do something totally different with it and turn it into something else. But does it strike a chord with you? Like I think that's valuable.
Because it's that chemistry you guys need to work together. Also, too, coming up with all of that being said, what future projects do you have in the works right now? You have anything?
Mainly right now, I'm working on my joints with Rosewood. Rosewood is a crazy, incredible, dope MC. I hope you're listening right now, Rose. But he's an incredible MC. He's from New York, Amityville.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the home of De La Soul.
Yeah.
The legends.
Dude's incredible. We actually met Paz.
Yeah, because one of them actually live in Atlanta. One of the guys. And I got to meet Maceo when I was walking up the street. I was like, "You're the DJ from De La Soul." And I said his name right. He was like, "You're the first person to get my name." And I'm like, "Okay." I think he was just telling me that to make me feel good, but I felt like a champ.
Nah, man. Like Rose is like. You know, I've been in Atlanta since 2008, beginning of 2008, and there's a lot of crazy dope MCs. I definitely want to shout out my boy Great Scott. That's G period R period E period A period T period Scott. Kid is nice.
What does it stand for? The GREAT?
God rules everything around and then some.
That's deep.
So kid is incredible nice. That's who I fuck with. You know, like, oh, excuse me. But those MCs, like,
Satellite radio now.
to me, in Atlanta, are the upper echelon. And what's crazy is they're both from New York.
Well, I want to say thank you for coming through, and I enjoyed the time. And as you said,
Oh, yeah.
like I said, don't be a stranger next time you're in New York. You got to stop by and come and see us.
Thank you for having me.
But, hey, you're a good dude. I seen you up in there. Porter Rock co-signed you, and 9 times out of 10, Porter Rock co-signed you. You're good. You had that one chance where somebody might be off. But, you know,
1%.
Shout out to DA Porter Rock.
Yep.
That's
And
the
so
homie right there.
And so right now we're going to get into some of your joints. Air to the streets every Monday night, 9 p.m. to midnight. Mr. Enok, thank you for coming through. ATL all day. Let's go. From New York to the ATL. Let's go.
Who has them queued?